verses 18 through 35, you'll find some very important nuggets. We recognize the missionary's ministry. One writer says any church that is not a missionary church will soon be a missing church. And the reason being is because the missionary ministry is really the evangelistical portion of your church that goes out and does the work, beat the bushes, go in hedges and highways. Missionary does the dirty work. And they are the person that is sent out on religious missions. You send missionary to do mission work. And if your mission is trying to reach the lost, benefit the less fortunate, help those in need, and the list goes on, you send the missionary. The missionary are those whose religious work advance the cause of other people. And just because you are in a comfortable position doesn't mean that the rest of the world is. And the call for missionary work, the responsibility falls on all of us who say we know the Lord. You don't push this job off to a few volunteers who decide that they're going to take on the initiative or they're going to take on the responsibility of the role of missionary. You don't drop the load on them and expect them to do it all. Mission work is the type of work that involves all of us because it was through somebody else's labor of mission work, through some other missionary, that the Lord saved you. And all of us can identify with the missionaries. And I remember the missionaries of yesterday, like my grandmama and those. They went back. In other words, they did what the home health care service is doing now. Caring for the elderly, seeing to the needy, helping underprivileged children. And back in those days, when they were going out to do missionary work, they would leave early in the morning. And they would go to those in the community who had needs. And they would meet those needs. And I've seen them even pack their own lunch and took their mop bucket, the brooms, and the dust and cleaning cloth, and they went to the house of those that were sick and failing and had problems. They would cook what they brought. They would clean the house. And if there was a sick in there, they would see to the need, whatever it was, for them who were laying on the bed of affliction. We don't do none of that no more. We've gotten away from all of that. I don't mean y'all, but I mean those that didn't come this morning. All they want to do now is just dress up and look good. You're in the wrong profession if you're a missionary and don't want to get your hands dirty. I remember so well, in my early years of ministry, I used to go to the hospital to visit the sick. And some of them, you had to clean them before you were able to minister to them. And all of us are, I'm a missionary, but I'm a little scornful. Scornful. You're in the wrong profession. You got to get your hand dirty. Yes, you got to roll up your sleeve. Got to get it all done. And I want to thank God for you all who decided you wanted to be missionaries, that is, doing the requirement, fulfilling your obligations and your duty as a missionary. And when I look at the Word of God from Genesis to Revelation, I see we have there in these 66 books, we have the entire mission call. We have the entire mission call from Genesis to Revelation. And just to name a few, Abraham, in my opinion, was a good missionary. Because when God called Abraham and told him what he wanted to do and where he wanted to send him and how he wanted him to go, Abraham didn't know where he was going. But Abraham knew who he was following. And this is what makes the difference even in our missionary societies and things today. You don't always know where you're going, but you got to know who you're following. And if you're following the Lord, he'll take you where he wants you to go. And he said to you, like he said to Abraham, follow me and I'll show you the place. Yes, I see Moses. In my opinion, he was a good missionary. Moses had to deal with some rough people, pretty much like we got to deal with now. You see? And I do believe that Moses dealt with the black side of the church. And why I feel that he dealt with the black side of the church, because their head was hard. They wouldn't listen. They wouldn't follow instruction. They wouldn't obey. They made ministry difficult. They had no manners. Yes, sir. And so Moses asked the question to God, well, on this journey that you want me to go on, who should I send me? He said, because they're going to get rough. They're going to get difficult. And it's going to get sticky by the time I get to Pharaoh and back. So I need to know, who should I say, send me? And God said to Moses, you just go on down there and tell him, I am. That I am is sending you. Sometimes people want to know what the missionary. Now, who made you a missionary? Just tell them that I am. In other words, when God said to Moses that I am, he was telling Moses, I am what you need. I am what you got to have. I am what you're looking for. I'll be the direction. I'll be the help. I'll be the guidance. I'll be the deliverance. I am that. I am the one that's going to never leave y'all. Some people join missionary ministry for a season, and then they get rough. They want to be alone. Some people join missionary ministry for a season, and when they can't get along with certain people in the missionary group, they want to decline. And if they don't decline, how about that? I resign. Are you listening here? You ain't got to resign because you can't get along with me. You want to continue to work. And if the devil is in me, you ought to try to pray, because that's one job and one responsibility of the missionary, to pray. And if you got missionaries that don't like and don't know how to pray, you got a problem. Yep. Because sometimes people not only really don't work with you because they don't like your administration or your program, sometimes they just don't like you. And they won't work with you because they don't like you. And my thing is, if you ain't going to help the cause, you don't need to criticize it. Because none of us is working as perfect people. All of us is repentant people. Come on, ain't none of us got it together. We all striving by the grace of God, and through the help of God, we accomplish it. And somebody said it some time ago, I think it was Barack Obama, so we are stronger and we can do more together. Because a divided house cannot stand. But if we pull our resources together, you know a little bit, I know a little bit, you got a little bit, I've got a little bit. Put it all together, and little become much when we put it in the Master's hand. Then there was Isaiah. In my opinion, of course, I'm not as smart as some of y'all, but in my elementary opinion, I see Isaiah as also a missionary, because after he had been through his ordeal, and y'all know how he was, he couldn't see the Lord until after God moved his uncle. And a whole lot of people don't see the need to work in the church until God moves certain things from out of their way. Some things that to be moved out of our way in order for us to see what we need to see so we can do what we ought to do. And Isaiah heard the question, who can I send? And that's still the call of missionary today. God is still asking, who can I send? And who will go for us? And Isaiah was willing to answer, here am I. God is still looking for some more here am I. Are you listening here? He ain't looking for big shot. He ain't looking for goody two shoes. He's looking for some more who am I? Here am I. Are you listening here? And if you can tell God, Lord, here am I. I'm willing. I'm able. And be willing to go. God can use us. Yes? No job is too small to do it well.
Amen.
Wherever you're working at, wherever you're living at, whatever you're doing in ministry, no job is too small to do well. You want to be your best at whatever you do. You don't want to be a part of the problem. You want to be a part of the solution. If you're working in the ministry of missionary, you don't want to be a part of the disease. You want to be a part of the cure. You don't want to be a part of the missionary problem. Are you listening here? You want to be a part of the missionary solution. You want to help the cause. Jesus in St. Mark, do y'all have time for me? I'm talking to all of y'all. Jesus in St. Mark's Gospel, chapter 16, verse 15, Jesus told the disciples to go into all the world. Now you are aware of the fact that Jesus and John the Baptist was two of the greatest missionaries that ever lived. There was no missionary like Jesus and John the Baptist. Am I right? Jesus told the disciples to go into all the world, telling everyone that he had paid the penalty for sin and that those who believe in him can be forgiven and live eternally with God. In other words, Jesus told them, boys, y'all go and let people know that I'm here to turn their lives around, fix their situation and their problem, and make things better. Christians, disciples, and missionaries today in all parts of the world are preaching the gospel to people who haven't heard about this Christ. Yes, the driving power that carries missionary around the world and set Christ's church in motion is the faith that comes from the resurrection. Because he lived, we can share this good news. Because he lived, we can give people hope for tomorrow. Verse 20 tells us that St. Mark's Gospel emphasized Christ's power as well as his servanthood. That's what I love about Jesus. Jesus was a servant leader. Are you listening? The world sees power as a way to gain control over others. But Jesus, with all authority and power, chose to serve others. The smarter we are, the more our ability should be to help serve others. You are going to make a difference in other people's lives. Jesus held children in his arms, healed the sick, washed the disciples' feet, and died for the sins of the world. Following Jesus means receiving the same power to serve. When you become a Christian and join your hand to the gospel while you're there to serve. You're not there to execute power and authority. You are there to serve. Where the God said after David had served his generation well, he fell asleep. He used to sing it in a song years ago, one of the hymns, to serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. Don't worry about what you can do next year or 5 years from now. What can I do right now? How can I help right now? How can I make a difference right here, right now? Missionaries. Why do we need them? As missionaries, we are called to serve for Christ. As Christ served, we are to also serve. Thank God for the ability to serve. Thank God you got something to offer. Missionaries reaches out to all people, nation, language, kindred, tongue, everywhere. Y'all remember that Jesus went to the city of Samaria? What a great missionary miracle transpired in Samaria. The disciples stopped off at Piggly Wiggly to buy some groceries. Jesus continued on to Samaria. Are you listening? And Jesus told them boys, and now I got to go through Samaria. So when y'all finish doing the little shopping, picking up the little package, y'all meet me in Samaria. Well, y'all know what happened there. Jesus met an extra stable woman at the well. And she and Jesus had a beautiful conversation. Looked like they was going somewhere, Bishop. Looked like they were going to get something done. But then Jesus, you might say, put a chalk in the wheel. Jesus said to the woman, go call your husband. And then he told her to go call her husband. Right there, things changed. Things changed. And so she tried to fix it up now and try to put things in order. But how many of y'all know you ain't got to try to fix something with the Lord? Just come on clean with him. Now you can tell other people to try to trick other church folk, but you ain't tricking him. He knows you're uprising, he knows you're downtracking, he knows you're coming in, he knows you're going out. Go call your husband. Things change. Am I right? Well, y'all know what happened if you stayed in Sunday school long enough. By the time Jesus got finished with her there, she left her water pot running back into the city. Now she's doing mission work. Come, see me! Oh, Lord. Come, see me! Come see the man that told me everything that I have ever done. Is not this the Christ? Well, by the time she got finished with her little mission work, she had the whole city coming behind her, running back to the well, trying to see this Jesus. Yes. Missionaries have a pedestrian ministry. Missionaries have a pedestrian ministry. Like Jesus, they must go where the people or the need is. For the mission of the church is outside of the church's wall. You know what's in your little church. Ain't nobody got to tell you who in the church. You know who's in the church. You know how much you got in the church. Am I right? But now, just because you are small in number doesn't mean you have to be short of vision. Because the average, you might say, mega church, the average mega church started off with a vision. And the scripture said, without a vision, the people perish. And without a people, the vision perish. So you can't do one without the other. Vision needs people. People need vision in order to make it effective. Yes? You got to go outside of your church's wall. And sometimes the work that we have to do is all not necessarily someplace overseas. Sometimes some of the greatest missionary work you can do is right there in your own house. You can't be around here trying to save the world and your grandchildren going to hell in the Bible. You can't be trying to get other people saved, and there is your husband or your wife, your grand and what have you, your sons and daughters is in bad shape. You got a problem. Now, if they have heard and they refuse to obey and abide, that's something different. But don't be trying to tell me about a God are trying to give me, a ministry are trying to give me aid and assistance that you should give to them right around you. First of all, you start at home. And that we can reach the one, of course now the one at home sometimes is the hardest one to reach. Because they know you so well and you know them so well, they don't want to hear nothing you got to say, but you still got to do your part and telling them. And after you have told them, the blood is no longer on your hand, they are on their own. Then you're ready now to reach out to help others. Am I making sense? Yes. Missionaries. Why do we need them? Yes. Missionary work is the principal aim of the church on earth. Every friend of Jesus is a friend of mission. Acts 20, verses 18 through 35. We see the characteristic of godly missionary. You see, because you can't be missionary just missionary and ain't got no life to go with it. They got to have a lifestyle to go with what we profess. You got to have more than a profession. Come on. You got to have a lifestyle to go with it. You can't be missionaries one Sunday and something else on Saturday night. You got to, when you say I'm a missionary, I'm an aid, I'm a help, I'm a support, I'm an encourager, I'm a saint, I'm a child of God. You got to try to live that every day. Am I right? But see, sometimes we don't look at that. We just want the preacher to live right all the time, and the rest of us live like we feel like. But no. When we say we are saints, all of us is under obligation to do the right thing. Am I right? Of course, none of us do the right thing all the time, but you ain't got to wallow. You ain't got to do like Pokey Pig and wallow in the mud. So then, you see the characteristics in Acts of a godly missionary. A godly missionary has special qualities and features. They are caring, compassionate, considerate, helpful to others, and they possess a good attitude. Ain't nothing like having a missionary society in your church but a couple of bad attitude missionaries. The worst thing any church can have is a bad attitude missionary. Will smile, will speak to people, never kind. Are you listening to me? Folks will rather avoid you with this to shake your hand. Bad attitude missionary. Yes. A good missionary serves the Lord where they are now, not just where they want to be. You make yourself available for where you are right now. And you work by the grace of God, and you strive by the grace of God to help the cause. All of us together, if we did 100%, we still would not have reached all of the world by the time Jesus got back. That's just how much work needs to be done on the missionary field. Are you listening here? And I've never been much for overseas missionary work. I had enough to do right around there in Carsville. Because every time they pick it up on the right, it falls down on the left. You got to go back and pick it up. And then they pick it up on the right and the left, it falls down behind you, so you have to. And when they pick it up on the right, left, and behind you, it falls down in front of you. And you just kept picking it up. You kept trying to make it different. Kept trying to be the example. Yes? Missionaries are the kind of people that don't always have time for themselves because the need drives them. The desire to help others pushes them. So they put their life sometime on hold. Sometimes foreign missionaries leave home for years. They deprive themselves of their loved one, their family, their friend, and they go to help others. And I think it's so sad sometimes. I see sometimes on current event, some of the missionaries that went overseas, sometimes they get thrown in jail. Some of them even been beheaded and lost their lives. Some of them will never see American soil again. The ministry drove them right straight on into the judgment. Are you listening here? And the Lord chooses some of us right around here to be American missionary, you might call us. Home of the brave in the land of the free, right here in Missionary. And all we're doing is getting on one another's nerves. That's what we're doing right here in America. Working one another's nerves. If you've been overseas on one of them foreign fields, you don't have to worry with that. They'll be working your nerves. I tell you what. Serve where you are, not where you want to be. A good missionary served the Lord with a sense of privilege, not pride. Missionary ministry is no place for proud Marys. When you're that proud, you don't need to be missionary. You need to be something else. Be security guard. Taught you on them guns because you need them now on the black church. Go to defense school or something like that. Learn how to do judo and karate. A good missionary served the Lord with a sense of privilege, not pride. A good godly missionary endures despite the suffering and the sacrifice. If you don't intend to suffer as a missionary, if you don't intend to make sacrifice as a missionary, you're in the wrong profession. Yep. I don't mean y'all know, but I could hear something right now. Well, the missionary president called a meeting, but I ain't going tonight. I don't feel like him tonight.
Come on, preacher.
He wants us to report this, report that, report that, but I'm not doing it. I think I've done enough over the years. No. Where the God said, don't stop doing good when the power to do it is in your hand to get it done. You always do good. You ain't gonna do no poison nobody else's mind. Because sometimes we ain't going to the meeting for no apparent reason. We ain't got no excuse. But we just not going to the meeting, and we want some of our friends on the board to know we ain't coming to the meeting. If we can't get them on the cell phone, we'll text. I ain't going to the meeting tonight. What you gonna do? Don't let other people dictate to you. Especially when they ain't in the right frame of mind. Thank God. If you don't thank God for nothing else, thank God for your mind. Are you listening here? I was watching the other day and I saw where this girl taught this boy into committing suicide. And he killed himself. And where she at? Walking around free as a bird, tiptoeing through the tulip, and he going in the judgment before a just God. Thank God for your mind and learn how to use your own mind. You didn't have a mind, you want one. Now God give you one and you don't want to use it. As I try to hurry to my seat, there is a big difference between church people and missionaries. There's a big difference between church people and missionaries. Church people has the pool dough mentality. We just like to dress up, look good, eat, and rest. That's the pool dough mentality. We don't help nobody. We won't serve nobody. Come on in. We don't encourage nobody. We don't want to take a part in any of our auxiliary. We wouldn't support none of the functions. The Lord bless some of us with a few dollars. We wouldn't give monetary gifts. We won't support the cause. We can see the struggle, know that there's a need, and still shut up our bowels of compassion. Church people are sometimes like Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar had talent. Are you listening here? But the Hebrew boys had a testimony. The Hebrew boys were missionaries. And when Nebuchadnezzar told the Hebrew boys, if you don't bow down and worship the golden fiery furnace. The boy's telling me, you go ahead and do what you want to do. He said, the God we serve. This is what keep getting encouraged, missionaries. The God you serve. You got to know that He's able. And by the time the Hebrew boys got down in the fire, the sand God. That they were serving, by the time they got down in the fire, that God was walking up and down in the flame, leaning on them boys and said, if I got you in trouble, I'll get you out of trouble. If I send you, I'll go before you. If I call you, I will not hold you. So sometimes the arms of flesh will disappoint you when you need it the most. And you got to resort to the Almighty God. And every now and then, you know, harm God, He doesn't mind. If every now and then you say to Him, Lord, I'm on here on your word. Every now and then you can tell Him that I'm on here on your word. And if I die on the battlefield, I'm out here on your word. Nebuchadnezzar had talent and ability, but the Hebrew boys had a testimony. The Hebrew boys came up to the missionary saying, the God we serve have delivered us from fire. Well, them fellows who didn't even go eat the furnace, but for throwing them boys in, when them boys came out of the fire, them fellows was laid down and they was done big. Yep. And done finished. And the Hebrew boys walked out of the furnace, looked at them boys and kept on moving. How many of you know God is able? You got to stick with the task. Sometimes folks wouldn't help you, but we used to sing a song, I'll go if I got to go. That's what it's going to call for. Every now and then you got to go by yourself. Yes? Missionary knows that talent don't build ministry or change lives, but testimony does. I heard this story some years ago about this woman that been on the missionary field. And after 30 years, she was returning back to America. Are you listening here? You can't always look for pat on the back and for praise because folks ain't gonna do that for you. Got there, she came home by boat. And Teddy Roosevelt, y'all heard the story, had been over there to hunt. And then Teddy Roosevelt got back to the shore and they came on the same boat. The band was playing Hail the Chief. Because he had been over to Africa and hunted and did all of this that he liked to do and enjoyed doing. Going for a few weeks, like say a month or so. Came back and they had a big parade. Hail the Chief. One assistant to the missionary said, it's a shame. Teddy Roosevelt went over there to hunt and came back. And what a crowd. And the band playing. I listened here. And they having a parade. He says, it's a shame you've been over in Africa for 30 years. And didn't nobody come. Lord have mercy. To welcome you home. The missionary had to encourage herself. She said, I ain't home yet. I can't remember I'm not home yet. She said, when I get home, the bells will be ringing. When I get home, the saints will be singing. When I get home, That talent don't build ministry or change lives, but testimony does. Some of the greatest testimony we have ever heard came from the mission field. Am I right? How God saved them from sudden death and destruction. Paul, the apostle, did missionary work. Some of them lost their lives. Some were crucified upside down. Some were put in arena with wild dogs to chase them. Some of them were tied in animal skin. Oh, and they turned them loose and turned the lions on them. Some of them were tied to the stake, and at night, hot tar was poured on their body. And they light the torch in Nero's garden, Lord, to make light for the night. Missionaries. They resisted unto blood. Missionaries. They kept the faith. They kept the faith because Paul was one of them that said, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I am persuaded that I let nothing separate me from the love of God that I've already found in Christ Jesus. Yes, I encourage you, missionary, stay on the wall. You're doing a good work. Tell you like Nehemiah said, don't come down. Stay there. Work. Labor. Toil. Do the best you can. You won't be able to get it all done. They've been doing this for 82 years before you came. They didn't get it all done, and you won't get it all done. But I'm going to tell you like one saint said. This saint said they had a dream, and I'll be finished. And in the dream, the good Lord told him, said, I want you to go into the vineyard, and I want you to work. I want you to go in the field, and I want you to work. I said, okay. Said to the Lord, what field? And the Lord showed them the field. And then as they walked back to the head of the road, servant said to the Lord, that's a big field. How much of that field you want me to work? And the Lord picked up a stick and ran on back to the field, looked back to the head of the road at the servant, and walked off a little further. Looked back at the servant and walked off a little further. And after that, he drove the stick into the ground, walked back to the servant, and said to the servant, Sister Mayford said, I know you wouldn't work the whole field. You can't work the whole field. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to work till you get to the stick. And then when you get to the stick, you can knock off and come on to the house. But work until you get to the stick. All of us got a stick that we don't have to get to. But work until you get to the stick. And when you get to the stick, knock off. Rock out. And go into the house. Battle would be fought. Victory would be won. You would hear him say, well done. But until you get to the stick, in my closing, until you get to the stick, here's what I want you to do. Don't become what you're trying to change. Don't become what you're trying to change. Are you listening? You trying to change things in the missionary department? Don't you become a problem down the road. You want other folks to work with you? Are you listening here? work with what's going on now. You want other folks to help you? Help them. You want other folks to support you and encourage you? Do the same for them. Don't become what you're trying to change. In my closing, missionaries, I want you to understand this. And that is talent and ability can get you started, but only habit will keep you going. Talent and ability can get you started, but only habit will keep you going. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we want to do things until we find out what's all involved. And then we want to change horses in the middle of the street. But habit is what keeps you going. In other words, you got to stick with it. Come hell or high water. My heart is fixed. My mind is made up. I'm going to stick with it. Live or die, sink or swim, I'm going to stick with it. Rough might be the road, and heavy might be the load, but I'm going to stick with it. And if you stick with it, then it's all over. You will hear him sing, well done. I want to hear well done. When you retire from the organization or from the Lord, I want you to leave a good record behind. Be like Enoch. Enoch left it on the record that he pleased God. That song you just got to sing, heal the land. God said he would heal the land. First thing God got to do is heal the man. Or heal the woman. And if he healed the man, and if he healed the woman, then the man and the woman can heal the house. And if they can heal the house, then we can heal the church. We can heal the church and we can heal the community. And if we can heal the community in the county, then we can heal the state. And if we heal the state, God must be ready to heal the world. And to heal the land. Missionaries. Why do we need them? Roll that around in your mind and see if you can make any sense of it. Missionary. Why do we need them? Blank. You fill in the blank. Missionary. Why do we need them? Give God a hand praise. Lord, do something